Have you ever wondered why the world feels so loud, yet inside you there's a quiet voice begging to be heard? Every day you're bombarded with noise, opinions, judgments, comparisons, the endless scroll of other people's lives. And in the middle of it all, it's easy to forget the one person who matters most, you. Think about how much energy you've given away trying to prove yourself, trying to explain your choices, trying to satisfy expectations that were never yours to begin with. You've been pulled in so many directions that you've started to forget your own center, your own power, your own path. And maybe deep down, you know this truth already. Your breakthrough won't come from the approval of others. It will come when you decide to focus on yourself and stay silent. Silence is not weakness, it is strength. The world confuses noise with power, but true power does not need to announce itself. A seed does not shout while it grows underground. A storm does not ask for attention before it breaks the sky. In the same way, you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. You don't need to defend your dreams to those who cannot see them. Your silence will speak louder than your words ever could, because silence combined with relentless focus creates results, and results are undeniable. But here's the challenge. Focusing on yourself requires courage. It means pulling your energy back from the endless distractions that steal your time and your spirit. It means saying no to the drama, the gossip, the unnecessary battles. It means realizing that your future doesn't depend on their opinions, their approval, or their applause. Your future depends on the choices you make when no one is watching, the hours you invest in your growth, the discipline you build in silence, the sacrifices you're willing to make to create the life you know you deserve. You might fear that staying silent will make people forget you, overlook you, or underestimate you. Let them, because while they are distracted by their own noise, you will be building something real. You will be mastering skills, strengthening your mind, and shaping your future. And when the time comes, you won't need to speak. Your success will speak for you. The doors that open, the results you achieve, the person you become, that will be the loudest statement of all. So why should you stay here, listening, watching until the end? Because this message is not about theory. It is about you right now. In this very moment, you already feel the weight of wasted energy, the drain of trying to please everyone but yourself. You've already tasted the emptiness of chasing approval. You're here because you know you're meant for more. And if you give yourself this time, if you truly take in these words, you will find the spark that reminds you who you are, what you're capable of, and why your silence is the most powerful tool you have. Stay with this message, not because it entertains you, but because it empowers you. Because deep inside, you're ready to stop explaining, stop performing, and stop chasing the noise. You're ready to focus, to grow, to transform. And the journey begins not with louder words, but with quieter strength. Focus on yourself and let your silence build the life they will never be able to ignore. The greatest battles you will ever face are not out there in the world. They are within you. The fight between your potential and your excuses, between your vision and your distractions, between who you are and who you know you could become. Most people lose this battle long before they ever begin because they give their attention away to noise that doesn't matter. They let the voices of doubt, comparison, and fear dictate their choices. But you are here because you're ready to rise above that. You're ready to choose a different path, the path of self-focus, the path of silence, the path that allows you to channel all of your energy into growth instead of wasting it on validation. When you choose yourself, you reclaim your power. Think about how much you've lost by scattering your attention across things that add no value to your life. How many hours have been stolen by meaningless arguments? How many days have been wasted worrying about the opinions of people who don't walk your path? Every ounce of energy you give away to those things is energy that could have built your future. Energy that could have sharpened your mind, strengthened your body, or elevated your spirit. Focusing on yourself is not selfish, it is survival. It is the only way to become the person you are meant to be. There is a deep truth most people never learn. The world respects results, not noise. People may laugh at your silence, they may misjudge your distance, they may assume you faded into the background. Let them, because while they are busy talking, you are busy building. While they are distracted, you are focused. While they waste their breath, you are strengthening your foundation. And when the foundation is strong, no storm can break you. That is the reward of silence. It gives you the clarity and space to construct a life that does not collapse when tested. And yes, it will be tested. The moment you stop feeding the noise, resistance will rise. People will try to pull you back into the cycle of distraction. They will question your choices, doubt your discipline, tempt you with shortcuts, and mock your focus. But here's what you must remember. They only try to disturb what they do not understand. They are loud because they are insecure. They attack because they feel threatened. Your silence unsettles them because it exposes their own lack of direction. And instead of fighting them with words, you must let your growth answer for you. The most powerful response is not an argument, it is evolution. Every day you remain focused, you are writing a silent contract with your future. Every moment you refuse to be dragged into meaningless battles, you are investing in the person you will become. And the transformation will not happen overnight, but it will happen. Slowly, quietly, consistently, you will grow. When growth compounds, it becomes unstoppable. That is when your silence roars louder than any voice ever could. You are not here to blend in. You are not here to compete with noise. You are here to build something timeless within yourself. Stay centered, stay disciplined, stay silent. Because when the world finally sees what you have created, they will understand that your silence was not absence, it was preparation. It was the making of a person who no longer needs to speak to be heard. Discipline is the hidden language of silence. When you withdraw from the noise and place your attention fully on yourself, you begin to hear what others miss. You notice the patterns of your own mind, the cycles of your habits, the truth of your strengths, and the weakness of your excuses. In silence, you can no longer hide from yourself. That is why most people avoid it. They fear the quiet because it forces them to confront the reality of who they are and the work they've avoided. But you are different. You are willing to face that discomfort because you know it is the only path to growth. Focus is not just about removing distractions. It is about sharpening your vision until nothing can shake it. When you commit to yourself fully, your days stop being random. Every choice begins to align with your higher purpose. You stop chasing every impulse, and instead you direct your energy into what truly matters. And the more you practice this, the stronger you become. It's like building a muscle. The more you train your focus, the more power you have to control your own life instead of being controlled by it. That is the freedom silence gives you, the freedom to master your mind. And yet, freedom demands sacrifice. You cannot hold on to your old ways and expect a new life. You cannot remain entangled in drama and still expect peace. You cannot live for validation and expect true fulfillment. There comes a moment when you must decide what matters more, fitting in with the noise or standing apart in the quiet. That decision will define the rest of your journey. Because once you choose silence, you will lose some people. You will outgrow certain circles. You will no longer fit in with those who thrive on distraction. And that loss may hurt at first, but it is not destruction, it is elevation. You are not losing anything real. You are making room for something greater. Every moment you choose yourself, you build an invisible momentum. At first it feels small. No one notices the hours you put in when the world is sleeping. No one applauds the self-control you practice when temptations surround you. No one sees the inner battles you win quietly every day. But these small victories are shaping you into someone unrecognizable to your past self. You are becoming someone stronger, sharper, and unstoppable. And eventually, the results of that momentum will become too powerful to ignore. Remember this, silence does not mean inaction. Silence means focused action. It means you are channeling all of your energy into the transformation that will redefine your future. You do not need to announce every step. You do not need to explain every move. The world doesn't need your commentary. It needs your results. And those results will arrive if you remain disciplined in the silence. This is the path of the few. The majority will choose noise because noise is easy. Noise distracts them from their own reflection. But you are not the majority. You are building a life that cannot be shaken by opinion, cannot be destroyed by judgment, cannot be stopped by doubt. You are becoming the proof that silence and focus create a power no one can deny. And when that power emerges, it will not just change your life, it will inspire others to finally face themselves, to rise and to follow the path you chose with courage. Greatness is born in the shadows, not in the spotlight. The world celebrates the outcome, but it never sees the endless hours of silence that built it. That silence is where the real transformation happens, where discipline is forged, where character is shaped, where the foundation of everything you desire is laid brick by brick. It is in those unseen moments that you either rise or remain the same. And this is why focusing on yourself matters so deeply. Because no one else can live your life for you. No one else can fight your battles. No one else can carry your vision. If you don't give yourself fully to your own growth, you will always remain dependent on the noise of others to define you. The mind craves clarity, but it cannot find it in chaos. Every distraction you allow is like static that drowns out your inner signal. That signal, the quiet voice within you, knows exactly who you are meant to become. It is the compass of your potential. But to hear it, you must step back from the noise. You must protect your silence as if your future depends on it, because it does. Every great transformation begins when you decide to create space for it, when you choose focus over distraction, when you give yourself the chance to hear your own soul again. And once you connect with that voice, you will feel a new strength rise within you. Suddenly you stop needing constant reassurance. You stop chasing approval. You stop measuring your worth against anyone else. You realize that your journey is yours alone, and comparison is just a thief that steals your joy. In silence, you reclaim your power from every place you once gave it away. That shift is not just mental, it is emotional, it is spiritual, it is life-changing. This is why so few ever reach their highest potential. They cannot endure the silence long enough. They rush to fill the quiet with words, with noise, with distractions that numb their discomfort. But you are not here to numb yourself. You are here to awaken yourself. An awakening requires stillness. It requires the patience to sit with yourself, to face your weaknesses honestly, and to rebuild them into strengths. It is the process of turning vulnerability into power. Understand this clearly. Your silence is not emptiness. It is preparation. It is where your future self is being built piece by piece, choice by choice, habit by habit. And though no one may notice now, there will come a day when everything you worked on in silence becomes visible. On that day, the same people who doubted you will wonder how you did it. The same voices that dismissed you will fall quiet, and the truth will be undeniable. You stayed focused, you stayed silent, and you became unstoppable. You do not need recognition now. You do not need applause in this moment. What you need is commitment. What you need is consistency. What you need is the courage to keep showing up for yourself even when no one is watching, because the quiet work you are doing is not wasted. It is compounding. And when it finally reveals itself, it will not just change how others see you, it will change how you see yourself. You will realize that the silence you once feared was the birthplace of your greatest strength. Every moment you dedicate to yourself is an investment in your freedom. The world may try to convince you that your value comes from external validation, but that is a lie. True worth is cultivated in silence, in discipline, in the relentless pursuit of your own growth. It is forged when you resist the urge to react, when you resist the need to justify yourself, when you resist the pull of distractions that lead nowhere. Every choice you make to stay focused strengthens your mind, your resolve, and your spirit. Each of these choices is a declaration that your life belongs to you and not to the noise around you. When you stop speaking to please others, you start listening to yourself. And in that listening, clarity emerges. You begin to understand your desires at the deepest level, the goals that truly resonate with your soul, and the actions required to achieve them. You begin to see the difference between what matters and what doesn't, between fleeting distractions and lasting impact. This is the power of focus. It transforms confusion into purpose, hesitation into confidence, and potential into achievement. The world cannot offer you this clarity. Only silence can. Only dedication to yourself can. Fear will rise. It will whisper that your efforts are unseen, that your patience is wasted, that your discipline is futile. It will try to convince you that loudness is strength and attention is proof of progress. But fear is not reality. It is the shadow of your potential. And when you confront it through focused action, it shrinks. The more time you spend mastering yourself, the less power fear has over you. Every silent, deliberate choice you make is a blow to the doubts that once held you back. Every small victory in private builds an unshakable confidence that cannot be borrowed, cannot be stolen, and cannot be undermined. You will also face temptation. The temptation to justify excuses, to seek recognition, to chase instant gratification. It is natural, it is human, but your strength is measured not by what you resist once, but by what you resist repeatedly. Every day you prioritize your growth over comfort, your progress over distraction, and your vision over opinion. You reinforce the foundation of your future. This is how mastery is born, not in moments of ease, but in moments of consistent choice. The more you choose yourself, the stronger, sharper, and more unbreakable you become. And remember, silence does not mean inactivity. Silence is the space where action becomes precise, deliberate, and transformative. It is where every effort compounds without interference, where every focus builds momentum, and where every sacrifice becomes fuel for success. The quiet work you do now is creating a version of yourself that cannot be shaken by setbacks, cannot be derailed by critics, and cannot be distracted by the chaos of the world. The world will continue to make noise. Opinions will continue to demand attention. Drama will continue to call for response. But you have a choice. You can surrender to it or you can rise above it. Those who choose the latter discover the extraordinary power of focus. They discover the deep satisfaction of knowing they are building something real, something lasting, something unassailable. And in that discovery, they find freedom, strength, and the unshakable confidence that comes from becoming the person they were always meant to be. The moment you stop seeking approval, you reclaim your energy. Every time you try to justify yourself, every time you explain your choices, you are giving away power that rightfully belongs to you. Power that could have been used to sharpen your skills, strengthen your mind, or advance toward your goals. Silence is the gateway to this power. It allows you to channel your energy into what truly matters, rather than scattering it across battles that leave you exhausted and unfulfilled. When you focus on yourself, you begin to understand that the world's validation is optional, but your growth is non-negotiable. When you embrace this mindset, the noise of the world loses its grip. Opinions that once distracted you no longer hold weight. Criticism no longer triggers doubt. Comparison no longer steals your confidence. You start to see clearly that your path is yours alone and that the only measure of your progress is your own commitment and consistency. This realization is liberating. It removes the heavy burden of trying to prove your worth externally and replaces it with the power of proving it internally through action, through results, through relentless focus. And yet, this path demands courage. To stay silent, to focus fully on yourself, you must confront the discomfort that arises when you are alone with your thoughts. You must face the fear, the doubt, the insecurities that you have ignored or avoided. You must accept that growth is uncomfortable, that discipline is challenging, and that transformation does not occur in the presence of distraction. Every moment of discomfort you endure is an investment in a stronger, more capable you. Every sacrifice of attention, every refusal to engage in unnecessary noise compounds into the unstoppable force you are becoming. The people who doubt you, who question your silence, who try to pull you into conflict are not obstacles, they are tests. They measure how committed you are to yourself, to your vision, to your transformation, and the way you respond defines your future. You can engage and lose yourself in their chaos, or you can rise above and continue building in silence. The choice is simple, but it is powerful. The discipline you cultivate in these moments is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain ordinary. Focus is not just a skill, it is a mindset, a lifestyle, a declaration. Every day you choose to invest in yourself, you are silently declaring that you will not be distracted, that you will not be derailed, that you will not settle for mediocrity. Every hour you dedicate to your growth is a statement louder than any words could ever be. Every act of self-control strengthens the person you are becoming. Your silence becomes a shield and a shield against negativity, doubt, and distraction, a weapon that builds unstoppable momentum, resilience, and clarity. And over time, the world will notice, not because you shouted, not because you justified, not because you demanded attention, but because your results will be undeniable. You will not need to convince anyone of your worth. The person you are becoming will speak for itself. Every day you remain committed to yourself, you are creating a future that cannot be shaken by opinions, derailed by chaos, or slowed by doubt. You are shaping a life of strength, clarity, and unstoppable progress. This is the power of focus. This is the power of silence. And this is the power that will carry you to heights you once thought were impossible. Every person you meet, every voice you hear, every distraction you face is a test of your commitment to yourself. The louder the world becomes, the more important it is to turn inward and protect your focus. The truth is that your environment does not create you. Your choices do. The people who surround you, the opinions you encounter, the noise of everyday life, they only matter if you allow them to. By staying silent, by choosing to focus on yourself, you reclaim control over your energy, your time, and your mind. You decide what shapes you and what has no power over you. Silence is not emptiness, it is clarity. It is a space where your mind sharpens, your vision aligns, and your purpose becomes undeniable. In silence, you confront your weaknesses and transform them into strengths. You examine your habits and replace the unproductive with the powerful. You see the patterns that have held you back and dismantle them piece by piece. This is not easy. The mind resists change. It prefers comfort over growth, noise over reflection. But when you commit to yourself fully, you learn to embrace discomfort as a sign that you are moving in the right direction. Discomfort becomes a signal of growth, a confirmation that your energy is being invested in what truly matters. The world will try to pull you back into distraction. It will tempt you with drama, recognition, and approval. It will challenge your patience, test your discipline, and provoke your fears. These challenges are inevitable. What matters is how you respond. Do you allow yourself to be led by the chaos, or do you stand firm, silent, and unwavering? Every time you choose focus over reaction, every time you choose growth over validation, you strengthen the foundation of your future. You build an inner power that cannot be shaken by opinion, criticism, or circumstance. Your silence is a weapon, not against others, but against mediocrity, fear, and distraction. Every quiet hour you invest in yourself compounds into unstoppable momentum. The work you do when no one is watching shapes the results that everyone will eventually see. This is the hidden advantage of focusing on yourself. You grow quietly, methodically, and without interference until your impact becomes undeniable. And when the world witnesses it, they cannot take it away, they cannot deny it, and they cannot replicate it. It is yours because you created it through discipline, clarity, and dedication. There's a deep satisfaction in this type of work, one that applause cannot give. It is the satisfaction of knowing you are becoming someone who cannot be shaken by circumstance, someone who cannot be derailed by distraction, someone who cannot be defined by others. Every choice you make to prioritize yourself is a choice to step closer to that person. Every moment you resist noise is a moment invested in your transformation. Focus is a form of freedom. Silence is the power that makes that freedom tangible. When you combine the two, you create a life that cannot be influenced by fleeting opinions, pulled by drama, or weakened by doubt. You become unstoppable because your strength comes from within. And this strength, built in quiet and commitment, will guide you to achievements, growth, and a sense of purpose that no one can ever take away. Your life becomes a reflection of your discipline, your vision, and your dedication to the person you were always meant to be. Every day you choose yourself, you are reclaiming what was once scattered. Your energy, your focus, your willpower, all the fragments you gave away to distraction, to drama, to the expectations of others, they begin to return when you commit to silence. The more you protect your attention, the more your mind sharpens, your vision clarifies, and your goals become inevitable. The noise of the world will never disappear, but the power to ignore it, to rise above it, and to focus on your own growth is entirely within you. That power is your birthright, and every moment you claim it, you grow stronger. Silence allows you to see clearly who you truly are and who you are meant to become. It strips away illusions, removes distractions, and exposes the patterns that have been keeping you small. In this space, you can examine your habits without judgment, confront your fears without shame, and plan your path without interference. It is here that true transformation begins, because the mind that is undisturbed by external chaos can finally think, create, and act with purpose. Every decision made in focus compounds into results, and every result builds momentum that cannot be stopped by outside voices. Discipline and focus are inseparable. One cannot exist without the other. You cannot claim to prioritize yourself if your attention drifts at every distraction. You cannot expect growth if your actions are inconsistent and reactionary. True progress comes when your mind, body, and spirit are aligned toward your goals, when you channel every ounce of energy into becoming the person you are capable of being. The power of this alignment is profound. It allows you to move through life with intention, to resist temptation, to silence doubt, and to act with clarity and precision. There will be moments when doubt rises, when fear whispers that your sacrifices are meaningless, that your patience is wasted, that your silence has gone unnoticed. These are the moments that define you. The resistance you encounter is not a signal to quit. It is confirmation that you are moving towards something greater. Every temptation you resist, every distraction you ignore, every hour you spend sharpening your mind in quiet strengthens your foundation and solidifies your momentum. The world may try to measure your value by attention, by recognition, by noise, but true value is created in the unseen. It is created in the hours of focus, the minutes of self-reflection, and the disciplined choices that no one witnesses. Those who achieve greatness are not the ones who shouted the loudest. They are the ones who worked the hardest in silence. They became unstoppable because they understood that results speak louder than words and that self-mastery is the ultimate form of power. By focusing on yourself, you are not withdrawing from the world. You are preparing to rise above it. You are building a life where your decisions, your energy, and your achievements are unshakable. Your silence becomes a fortress, your focus becomes a weapon, and your growth becomes unstoppable. Every day you dedicate to yourself brings you closer to the life you were always meant to live. And every small choice compounds into a future that no one can take from you. Your transformation is already underway, and it begins with the courage to remain silent, to remain focused, and to invest fully in yourself. The more you embrace silence, the more you discover the depth of your own strength. Noise can only distract you for so long. Eventually, the mind craves clarity, the spirit craves purpose, and the heart craves alignment. When you stop reacting to the chaos around you and start responding to your own inner guidance, you unlock a power that no one else can give you. This power is not flashy, it is not loud, but it is unstoppable. It grows quietly, steadily, and relentlessly, fueled by every choice you make to honor yourself, to protect your focus, and to invest in your own transformation. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, every interaction you allow, these are the currency with which you build your life. When you focus on yourself and maintain your silence, you are directing that currency towards something that truly matters. You are no longer spending it on empty arguments, on unnecessary validation, on distractions that dilute your power. Instead, every ounce of energy is reinvested into your growth, your clarity, and your purpose. This is the discipline that separates those who achieve greatness from those who drift through life waiting for permission or approval. Silence sharpens perception. In the absence of noise, you begin to notice patterns that were invisible before. You see where your energy is wasted, where your habits are weak, and where your potential is being ignored. You confront the truth of yourself without excuses, without blame, without fear of judgment. It is in this clarity that you gain control. Control over your choices, control over your reactions, control over the trajectory of your life. And when you act from this place of control, every step forward is intentional, precise, and unstoppable. Discomfort will be constant because growth is never comfortable. The mind resists change, the body resists effort, and the world resists those who break from conformity. But resistance is the measure of your commitment. The more you persist in silence, the more you resist the urge to react, the stronger your discipline becomes, and the sharper your focus grows. Every challenge, every test, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to strengthen the foundation upon which your future will stand. Your silence is your shield. It protects you from negativity, from distraction, from the opinions that will seek to diminish your power. It is also your sword, forging momentum, creating results, and building the version of yourself that others cannot ignore. When you dedicate yourself fully to your own growth, when you commit to focus over reaction, discipline over distraction, and vision over validation, you construct a life that is unassailable. Your success will not be a result of luck or recognition. It will be a direct reflection of the effort you put in while no one was watching. Focus and silence create freedom. Freedom from doubt, freedom from distraction, freedom from the pull of what does not serve you. They allow you to become the person you were always capable of being, to act with purpose, and to create results that demand attention. Every day you choose this path, you are shaping a life that is powerful, resilient, and unstoppable. And every choice you make in the quiet, focused moments builds the momentum that will carry you beyond anything the world could have imagined. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you reclaim a piece of yourself that was once lost. Every moment spent trying to please others, defending your choices, or engaging in unnecessary conflict drains the energy meant for your growth. The world constantly demands your attention, but attention is finite. Every second you give away is a second removed from your transformation, your progress, and your potential. By choosing to focus fully on yourself, you protect the most valuable resource you have, your own power. Silence allows you to hear your own voice above the chaos. It is in this quiet that clarity emerges. You begin to understand the difference between what is urgent and what is important, between fleeting distractions and lasting impact. You see your habits clearly, notice the gaps in your discipline, and recognize the opportunities that were invisible when your mind was cluttered with noise. Every insight you gain in this quiet space becomes a tool, a strategy, a weapon for building the life you desire. Resistance will rise because the world is built to test those who focus on themselves. Temptation will appear in many forms: the lure of recognition, the pull of distraction, the whisper of excuses. Every attempt to draw you away from your path is a test of your commitment. Every distraction you resist strengthens the foundation of your future. Discipline is forged in these moments. Strength is built in these moments. And the person you become in response to these challenges is unstoppable. Focus is not passive. It is active, deliberate, and powerful. Each choice you make to invest in yourself compounds over time. The hours of silent effort, the minutes of self-reflection, the decisions to act with intention rather than reaction, these are the bricks that build your legacy. What others cannot see now, they will eventually be forced to acknowledge. Your results will speak louder than any words could. Your life will become a testament to the power of discipline, clarity, and focus. Your silence is both shield and sword. It shields you from the negativity, the noise, and the opinions that will weaken your resolve. It sharpens your focus, amplifies your clarity, and magnifies your impact. When you operate in this space, you are no longer vulnerable to distraction or doubt. You are building a life of unstoppable momentum, where every decision reinforces your strength and every action aligns with your purpose. True freedom comes from this mastery. Freedom from doubt, freedom from comparison, freedom from the chaos that surrounds those who never learn the power of focus. Every day you commit to yourself, you reclaim more of that freedom. You reclaim control over your choices, your energy, and your future. And the momentum you build in these quiet, focused moments carries you toward a life of clarity, power, and undeniable results. The world may continue to shout, to distract, and to challenge you, but you will rise above it because your strength is internal, your vision is clear, and your commitment is unbreakable. Every act of focus, every moment of silence, every decision to invest in yourself is shaping a future that cannot be derailed. You are becoming unstoppable not because the world is quiet, but because you have learned to thrive in silence. You are becoming unstoppable because your power is derived from your own discipline, your own clarity, and your own relentless pursuit of excellence. And that power, once fully realized, will transform not only your life, but the world around you. The deeper you commit to yourself, the more the world's noise loses its power. Every demand for attention, every expectation from others, every distraction is powerless against a mind that has learned to focus, a spirit that has learned to protect itself, and a heart that has learned to prioritize what truly matters. Your energy is finite, and where you direct it determines the trajectory of your life. By focusing on yourself and maintaining your silence, you reclaim control over your time, your decisions, and your growth. You are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the driver, fully aware, fully present, and fully committed. Silence is where the real work happens. It is where you face your weaknesses without excuse, where you confront your fears without avoidance, and where you examine your habits without judgment. In this space, clarity emerges. You begin to see which behaviors are holding you back, which patterns are limiting your potential, and which choices will propel you forward. Every realization in this quiet becomes a tool for transformation. Every insight is a spark that ignites momentum, and every disciplined action you take, no matter how small, compounds into a life of unstoppable power and purpose. The challenges you face are not obstacles. They are mirrors reflecting the strength you are building. Resistance, temptation, and doubt are constant tests of your commitment. They are signals that you are growing beyond what you were before. The more you resist distraction, the more you commit to your path, the stronger your foundation becomes. Strength is not forged in ease. It is forged in the tension of focus, in the discomfort of patience, and in the persistence of discipline. Every time you choose to invest in yourself instead of reacting to the world, you reinforce the version of you that cannot be shaken. Focus is not passive. It requires relentless action and intentional effort. Every decision you make to dedicate time, energy, and attention to yourself is a declaration of independence from distraction. Every hour spent in disciplined effort is a building block for your future. Every moment of silence is a statement of power. And although the world may not notice today, the results of your efforts will eventually become undeniable. Your success will speak louder than words ever could. Your growth will be the proof of your commitment. Your transformation will be the evidence of your discipline. Your silence is a fortress. It shields you from negativity, criticism, and chaos. It protects your energy and strengthens your resolve. And within that fortress, you are free to create, to plan, to act, and to grow without interference. The momentum you build in this space is unstoppable because it is fueled by purpose, discipline, and clarity. It cannot be borrowed, stolen, or interrupted. It is yours, and it is unshakable. True freedom comes from this power. Freedom from doubt, from distraction, from the pull of external validation. Freedom to act with intention, to live with clarity, and to build a life that reflects your true potential. Every day you commit to yourself, every choice to focus and remain silent, compounds into a future that cannot be derailed. You are becoming unstoppable not because the world is quiet, but because you have learned to thrive in silence, to harness your energy, and to dedicate yourself fully to the person you were always meant to be. Every act of focus, every moment of silence strengthens the foundation of who you are becoming. The world will always try to pull your attention, distract your energy, and dilute your potential. Opinions will demand validation, drama will seek your involvement, and fear will whisper that your efforts are meaningless. But every time you resist, every time you choose yourself over the noise, you are proving that your life belongs to you. Your energy is yours to invest, and how you invest it determines the magnitude of your growth, the depth of your clarity, and the power of your future. Silence is the catalyst for this growth. It is in quiet that you discover your true priorities, confront the habits that no longer serve you, and refine the actions that lead to results. Every moment spent in focus compounds into momentum. Every hour dedicated to self-discipline strengthens your resilience. Every choice to act deliberately rather than react impulsively creates a future that cannot be shaken. This is the invisible work of greatness, the quiet, consistent, and intentional effort that shapes an unstoppable life. The path of self-focus is not comfortable, and it is not for those who seek immediate gratification. Resistance will always arise because growth challenges the familiar, disrupts the habitual, and demands courage. You will face doubt, temptation, and frustration, and you will be tested by the world around you. But every test is proof that you are expanding beyond what you once were. Every moment of discipline, every act of patience, every decision to remain silent and invest in yourself compounds into power that no one can diminish. Focus is a force that creates clarity. When your mind is undistracted, you see opportunities where others see obstacles. You recognize patterns where others remain blind. You understand what is essential and discard what is irrelevant. And with this clarity, your actions become precise, deliberate, and effective. You move with purpose, you act with intention, and every step forward builds momentum that cannot interrupted by external chaos. This is the advantage of silence. It allows you to direct your energy with surgical precision, transforming potential into results and vision into reality. Your silence is both armor and weapon. It shields you from the unnecessary, protects your energy from depletion, and strengthens your resolve to stay true to your path. At the same time, it becomes a tool of creation, shaping momentum, building confidence, and forging results that are undeniable. The world may overlook your efforts now, but every focused, disciplined act contributes to a life of power, clarity, and influence that cannot be ignored. Freedom emerges from this process. Freedom from distraction, from doubt, from external validation. Freedom to act intentionally, to prioritize your growth, and to create results that reflect your true potential. Every moment you dedicate to yourself, every hour spent in disciplined focus, every choice to remain silent in the face of chaos compounds into a life that is unstoppable. You are becoming someone whose strength, clarity, and momentum cannot be shaken. You are becoming someone who commands their life from within, and the power of this transformation will guide you to heights that once felt impossible. Every choice you make to focus on yourself is a step toward mastery. The world is designed to distract, to divide, and to dilute your energy. It constantly pulls at your attention, tempting you to respond, to explain, to justify, and to compare. But when you choose silence, when you choose focus, you reclaim control over your mind, your time, and your life. You begin to operate from a place of power, not reaction. Your energy is no longer scattered across meaningless battles. It is concentrated, deliberate, and unstoppable. Silence allows your mind to sharpen. It is in the absence of noise that clarity emerges. You begin to understand what truly matters, what drives your purpose, and what steps will lead to meaningful results. You see your habits as they are, not as you wish them to be, and you confront the areas where improvement is necessary. Each insight gained in this quiet space is a tool, a strategy, a stepping stone toward the life you are capable of creating. Every action you take with full focus compounds, building momentum that no distraction can derail. Resistance is inevitable because growth challenges the familiar and demands courage. Fear will whisper that your sacrifices are in vain, that your patience is wasted, and that your silence has gone unnoticed. Temptation will beckon you towards shortcuts, distractions, and the approval of others. These forces are tests of your commitment. Every time you resist, every moment you choose yourself over the noise, your inner strength grows. Discipline is not built in ease. It is forged in the tension of persistence, the discomfort of patience, and the refusal to be swayed by external chaos. Focus is not passive, it is deliberate action. Each decision to invest your energy in meaningful growth strengthens the foundation of your future. Every hour spent refining your skills, sharpening your mind, and nurturing your resilience compounds into power. Every moment of silence reinforces your momentum, preparing you for a life that cannot be disrupted by opinion, drama, or circumstance. This is the hidden advantage of those who commit fully to themselves. Their results emerge inevitably with a force that cannot be denied. Your silence is a fortress. It protects your energy from depletion, shields your mind from distraction, and strengthens your resolve to remain on your path. Within this space, you are free to create, to plan, and to act without interference. And while the world may not notice your efforts now, every disciplined act contributes to a life of clarity, power, and unstoppable momentum. When your results manifest, they will speak louder than any words ever could. Your transformation will be undeniable, and it will serve as proof of the quiet work you committed to when no one was watching. True freedom is born in this process, freedom from doubt, from distraction, and from the expectations of others. Freedom to act with intention, to build with focus, and to create results that reflect your true potential. Every moment of commitment, every choice to prioritize yourself, compounds into a life that is unstoppable. You are becoming someone whose strength, clarity, and momentum cannot be shaken. You are becoming someone who commands their life from within, and the power of this transformation will carry you to heights you once believed were unreachable. Every moment you dedicate to yourself is a declaration of power. Every choice to remain silent in the face of distraction, every decision to focus when the world demands attention, reinforces the strength within you. The world thrives on noise, on reaction, on immediate gratification, but you are learning to thrive on focus, discipline, and clarity. Your energy is no longer scattered across empty battles or wasted on approval. It is concentrated, deliberate, and unstoppable. The life you are building belongs entirely to you, and no one else can interfere with it. Silence is not inactivity. It is the foundation of intentional action. When you withdraw from meaningless chatter, from comparisons, from constant external validation, you create the space to think, plan, and act with precision. In this quiet, you see what others overlook. You notice the patterns that limit potential, the habits that drain energy, and the opportunities that lead to growth. Each insight you gain becomes a tool for transformation, and every focused action compounds into momentum that cannot be interrupted by external chaos. Resistance is the measure of your commitment. Fear will surface, tempting you to abandon focus, to seek validation, or to justify wasted energy. Distractions will appear, testing whether you will remain steadfast in your pursuit. These challenges are not obstacles. They are confirmations that you are progressing, that your potential is expanding, and that you are leaving behind a version of yourself that settles for mediocrity. Every time you resist, every time you choose self-focus over reaction, you reinforce the foundation of your future. Discipline grows in these moments, and with it, unstoppable power. Focus creates clarity. When your mind is undistracted, decisions become easier, priorities sharper, and action more effective. You begin to understand the difference between what is urgent and what is important, between what serves your growth and what depletes it. Each choice to concentrate on what matters magnifies the impact of your effort. Each deliberate action compounds into a life that moves in a single, unstoppable direction forward. Quiet work you do now is invisible, but the results will be impossible to ignore. Your silence is a shield and a sword. It shields you from negativity, chaos, and distraction. It protects your energy and strengthens your resolve. It is also a weapon that channels momentum, focus, and deliberate action. Those who choose noise may appear louder in the moment, but their efforts lack the consistency and clarity that produce results. The discipline, focus, and silence continue building while others are distracted, creating power that cannot be borrowed, stolen, or interrupted. Freedom is the natural consequence of this process. Freedom from doubt, from distraction, from the pull of external validation. Freedom to act with intention, to live with clarity, and to build a life that reflects your true potential. Every moment you choose focus, every hour spent in silence, and every act of discipline compounds into unstoppable momentum. You are becoming someone whose strength, clarity, and influence cannot be shaken. You are becoming someone whose power comes from within, and the life you are building will prove that silence and focus are the greatest forces in existence. Every moment you dedicate to yourself strengthens your inner foundation. The world will always demand your attention, tug at your energy, and try to divert you toward distractions that lead nowhere. Opinions will come, chaos will arise, and fear will whisper that your efforts are futile. But every time you resist, every time you stay silent and focused, you are reclaiming the most valuable resource you have, your own power, your energy, your attention, your discipline. These are yours to direct, and where you place them determines the trajectory of your life. Silence is not absence, it is presence. It is the space where your mind sharpens, where clarity emerges, and where vision transforms into action. In this quiet, you see the gaps in your habits, the patterns that limit your potential, and the choices that lead to growth. Every insight becomes a tool, every realization becomes strategy, and every act of focus compounds into unstoppable momentum. The life you are building is invisible now, but it is real, and it is growing stronger every single day. Resistance will rise because the path of self-focus is not easy. Fear, doubt, and temptation will test you constantly. They will try to convince you that your silence is wasted, that your discipline is meaningless, that your patience is in vain. These are not obstacles. They are signs that you are progressing, that your potential is expanding, that you are breaking away from mediocrity. Every moment you resist distraction, every decision you make to prioritize yourself over noise, reinforces the strength within you. Discipline is forged in these moments, and the power you build in silence is unshakable. Focus brings clarity. When your attention is undistracted, your choices become precise, your priorities sharp, and your actions more effective. You begin to distinguish between what matters and what doesn't, between fleeting distractions and lasting impact. Each act of concentration amplifies the results of your effort. Each disciplined choice compounds into momentum that carries you forward, creating a life of purpose that cannot be derailed by external noise. The quiet work you commit to today will create results that demand recognition tomorrow. Your silence is both armor and weapon. It shields you from negativity, from chaos, and from the pressures of others. It protects your energy, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your resolve. At the same time, it becomes a tool that channels momentum, precision, and deliberate action. Others may be louder, but their noise is empty, scattered, and fleeting. The strength you cultivate in focus is deep, concentrated, and enduring. While the world is distracted, you are building a life of unstoppable power. Freedom is born in this process, freedom from doubt, from distraction, from the need for validation, freedom to act intentionally, to prioritize your growth, and to create results that reflect your true potential. Every moment spent in silence, every hour dedicated to disciplined focus, compounds into unstoppable momentum. You are becoming someone whose clarity, strength, and resilience cannot be shaken. You are becoming someone who commands their life from within, and the results of your dedication will prove that silence and focus are forces more powerful than any external influence.